What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Real Ones Kings podcast. He is Brandon O'Doy. Follow him on X at Brandon_O'Doy. I'm Brian Levin. Follow me at Miami Radio Beast. Brandon, before we go any further, we're taping this on Wednesday night ahead of a Friday night game between Miami and Virginia Tech. I do want to send thoughts and prayers out to anyone that is going to be affected by this Hurricane Helene. It looks like it's going to be really bad, especially up at the Panhandle. Even up in your hometown of Atlanta, I just saw that they could get up to 75, 85 mile per hour winds. It's going to be a lot of people that are in the path of the storm, and I'm thinking of them, and I want to send the best out to them, and hopefully you are out of harm's way. So just wanted to get that message out there before we continued, because we talk about the silly stuff, but there's serious stuff that happens that we got to make sure that people are safe. So wanted to get that out there.
Well, no pun intended. This is a hurricane podcast. So Talking about hurricanes is always germane, whether it's the Miami Hurricanes or hurricanes that are coming up. But seriously, don't try to be a hero. That's the biggest thing. Preparation is key. Do not try to be a hero. Don't wait to the last minute. Don't say, oh, this is only going to be another storm. No, because even if you lose power for 2 or 3 days, it can be very, very difficult to deal with. And gas does pump on power for all of you Atlanta people, my mother and sister included. So please be mindful. Put your tanks at full.
Yeah, definitely. Thinking of all of you. All right. Miami cleaned the clock of another team, USF. I thought it was going to be a closer game. Miami's defense had a few issues early on in the game. With the screen pass,
polite.
a couple, yeah, definitely. But in the end, Miami did, solve their problems on defense, and the offense, Brandon, it keeps setting records. Cam Ward in this offense just keeps setting records, and felt really good for a freshman like Jordan Lyle, have that big run, and then they got him over 100 yards. So all in all, listen, they did what they keep doing what they're supposed to do, right? Tough road test. That place was packed. They sold, they opened up the upper deck. They sold 15,000 student tickets, all this stuff. And again, Miami got the job done.
Yeah, it's getting to the point where people know what they're going to get from this team and have expectations, and those expectations are met and in some cases exceeded. Let's be fair. There are some things that need to be addressed on the defense. Lance Guidry called his worst game. I don't think that that's unfair to him. And the thing that's so surprising is it's like it seemed really strange to me, like how he was not really able to put the pieces together for so long. I mean, it almost went an entire half before Miami kind of figured out what was actually going on and was able to kind of slow it down. And I heard him say during one of the pressers, it was on Twitter, that, the mark of a good coach is not what you do at halftime, but what you can do in game. And so credit Lance Guidry for getting that right. Now, the issue will be because, bygones are bygones. You only gave up 17 points overall, and that was only 2 points over the total you gave up at Florida. And you've been shutting people out and, holding people to very low amounts on the defense. So we're not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. The issue is when you play a team that has better talent and they take away things that you could not figure out for 2 quarters, it will apply way more pressure. So what Miami has to hope is that was a complete outlier, because if that was a roadmap and for God forbid Cam Ward doesn't have an amazing game, which looks like blasphemy at this point, but there's going to be a game, and you and I talked about it offline. Yep. There's going to be a game where somebody's not going to keep their end of the bargain. It happens every year to the best teams. You talked about the 2001 Boston College a game, and that team that was supposed to be the greatest team that ever played college football, and they were within, you can tell me,
yeah, they were within inches of losing that game. Boston College driving to score the winning touchdown, and just by luck, a pass goes into Mike Rumpf knee, and bounces into Matt Walter's hands somehow. He starts running. Then Ed Reed basically goes and takes the ball out of Matt Walter's hands and runs for a touchdown to save the game for
crazy play
for Miami. Right. Go watch that play.
That literally never happened.
But it's basically a miracle like any other Hail Mary or anything else, end of game play to win a game. And that was the greatest team of all time. So if it takes that to win that game, it can happen to any team. And you're right. There's going to be a game where it's going to be something's not going to go your way. Like, for some reason, Cam Ward turns the ball over, or they can't stop another team's offense. Whatever it is, something's going to happen.
To be honest, it almost happened at Florida, because you got to remember when Cam threw that pick, which was super ill-advised.
Correct.
They marched right down. They just couldn't score.
Correct.
They got a field goal instead of a touchdown. You give them a touchdown in that point. Now, I'm not saying Florida wins that game, but I'm just saying things become way more dicey. You're on the road. You got 70K. It's just not a good formula. Okay. So credit Lance Gidry for getting it right. But Mr. Gidry, you do have some splaining to do, and you will need to, and I don't know enough about football, I don't mind saying I don't understand what wasn't being done. What I do know is a guy that used to be a walk-on and wears jersey 38 is not supposed to go for 11 catches and 125 yards on Miami. That ain't supposed to happen. There's never been a game up until this game that I said, wish we had Devontae Brown back. Wish we were healthier at the defensive back, position.
Right.
And because Jazaius Richards he didn't have it this game.
Correct.
And he's played great.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
This game, he didn't have it. And so you wonder, was it the kid?